How are you doing? Welcome. It's Tuesday, and welcome to a brand new show called Talking with the Planets. This is a show that will be hosted both by myself and my co-host, Mr. Patrick Garrett. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really well. I've had a crazy week, Wayne.
Well, tell us about it.
Well,
I always love hearing crazy weeks because, I compare it to mine and I go, wow.
I will ignore all the jokes about Uranus and
Yeah, I don't know, what scientist came up with that? I mean, what astronomer? But continue, sir.
yeah. I only got called a nutter once, which is crazy, means crazy over here. So there were negative comments, but not as many as I thought we would get. And I thought there were a lot of very intelligent questions.
I thought so too. I just want to say hello to all the moderators. Already the chat room is filling up. So are the viewers. So Patrick, let me tell you the little bit of dilemma I had on my end.
Okay.
So no sooner had I reposted our broadcast, I get a notice from YouTube that someone had filed a copyright strike.
Me too.
And yeah. So, and we won't tell the company because the company is good. The CEO was fantastic. His people were great. It was a misunderstanding. But what was more interesting was the fact that when they found out what we were doing, which is even, it has, I think, awakened people to this whole new possibility, Patrick, that we have sentient beings around us that modern man might want to find out about.
Well, it certainly blew my mind, and I'm the one doing it.
I love that when the guide's telling you, "Oh wow, folks," that means you need to pay attention.
Yeah.
So,
nobody came and carted me off, so I'm still free.
I'm glad to hear that. Family has not figured that you need more drugs or anything.
Well, I keep getting funny looks, but
so, you know what I say, Patrick? Never doubt the stimulation of eccentricity.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, it's the eccentric minds that the public looks at that make the discoveries.
This is true.
And I certainly think that this is what we're on. So, how do you want to go? I know you have some questions coming in on your end, and I've got some here. So,
well, if you don't mind, I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to clarify a few things, and then we can swap questions. If you
absolutely.
Like, you do one, I do one. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to say to those who haven't seen what I do before, I use a pendulum and an alphanumeric chart, and I talk to source. I believe I talk to source. I have asked the question, who moves the pendulum, and I've been told it's source. I do not ask for permission to talk to various planets, etc. I just do it. And sometimes you may notice that I say the word before the pendulum points to a certain letter. The reason for that is I am at the stage now where I am getting 3 words ahead. And in my impatience, I say the next word before the pendulum moves. Sometimes you may see my arm move or the shadow of my arm move. That is a deliberate movement by me to bring the pendulum back to the center of the chart. Because my arm gets tired, it tends to wander. I am an open book. I am working on a new system. This is breaking news, everybody. I am working on a system where I am not holding the pendulum. and that's in the early stages, but as soon as it is up and running, you will see it. And you'll be able to see that I am not touching the pendulum, and the pendulum will still move. Thanks, Wayne.
Good. Thank you. It says that I'm muted, but I'm no longer muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. You're sharp
Okay.
as a bell.
I love it, So, Patrick, I went into my I keep a little chest of everything, and lo and behold, I found within there my own crystal pendulum.
Wow, that's a nice one.
I don't know. My wife and I just briefly spoke with it, and wow, and my wife she is the skeptic in the family, and she said this is powerful, and she was doing it herself. She says, "I'm not moving my hand." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to tell you."
This is what you can't get across through the camera. The person holding the pendulum knows for a surety that they are not moving it, and they also feel the energy involved. Which is why I want to come up with a way of doing it without holding the pendulum.
Love it. When you get that perfected, I'm looking forward to it. Johan, how are you doing? Everyone. So,
hello, everyone.
Patrick, we've got a full house. So,
wow.
Why don't we do this? You have some questions on your end. I have some on my end that have been emailed in. So let's address those questions first, and then we'll continue with the chat room and see where it goes from there.
Sure. Let's
okay.
Go. You go first.
Did you give me the honor on that?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's just take it from the big guy workout. I've had a couple of emails asking about the sun, and they want to know, is the sun all right? Is it healthy? And the follow-up on that would be, is there something impacting our sun right now?
Okay. Let's see if we can bring the chart up. Just move it slightly so I can get access to it. Right. Question is about the sun and its health.
Yes.
And is there anything impacting it?
Yes, sir.
Just move my mouse out of the way. I have to rest my elbow on the desk, otherwise it will go all over the place. I'll have to do the calibration first, Wayne.
Okay.
Do I have a connection with source? Yes. To calibrate the pendulum, could you spell my first given name? P A T R I C K, Patrick. Wouldn't it be funny if it spelled something else?
Yeah. Like Wayne, I'm gonna wait a minute.
Yeah. Especially now you've got a pendulum. Wow. We have a question about the sun. Our concern is the health of the sun. Is there anything wrong with the sun, or is there anything perturbing it? The sun has lost its corona and is in fact out. This has been replaced by several sun simulators, and these are in Earth orbit so as to provide enough heat for the planet. There are objects within our solar system that is draining energy from all of our planets. This is a very serious situation, and there are difficult times ahead. Finish.
Whoa. That's
Well,
all I can say is
I can't remember all of that.
wow.
That energy was strong.
I mean, I'm sitting here trying to write.
Did you make a note of it, Wayne?
Yes, sir, I did. What I got out of this, it's weak. There is objects draining the energy, not only of the sun itself, but of the planets, which would make sense. I mean, there's two ways of looking at this. We know that all the planets are heating up. We know that they're acting erratic. There's perturbations to the gas giants. It would make sense to me that if you're draining something, and the natural defense would be that you would want to begin to replace that energy. Planet-wise would be that you would begin to heat up.
I was thinking this must have happened a while ago for them to get the technology together to put sun simulators up in orbit. And what happens if they malfunction?
Well, it's a known fact in the community that the first patent was issued in the early 70s on the first sun simulator. We have the Chinese that are now saying that they have them. We have the Russians as well. I have footage directly off of the ISS that shows a sun simulator.
Right.
So this does not surprise me in the fact that, when you hear what it had to say was that it is weak. It's been weak, apparently. And just to add further to this, Patrick, so we've been monitoring what they call the KP index. That is a combination of the energy, the solar wind coming off of our star. Why I know this, and that's why I didn't say anything before we spoke, and even now, we know that since the beginning of the new millennium, that our sun has been getting weaker. Now, some attribute it to this current solar minimum. Well, that's fine, but it's not accounting for the weakness of the solar wind. And that wind should be about 500 kilometers per second.
Right.
Lately, this year, we see that KP index continue to drop. There was at one point in September that it became alarming because the solar wind dropped to below 220 kilometers per second.
Over half.
Exactly. That is a huge reduction in energy. Now, what you can go to any one of these are basically Discover and ACE data. These are satellites we have up there. I've been monitoring now for nearly 7 years what's been going on. And I can tell you, Patrick, something is out there. Something is pulling even on the Earth's own magnetospause. So
I know something is not right. My bedroom window, which is just here, faces due west. So the sun sets due west. We've lived in this house for several years. There are two other houses at the bottom of my garden with a gap in between. The sun sets between the two houses. I was in this room with my wife and daughter one day at sunset, and the sun was setting further south. And then a couple of weeks later, it was north-north. I said, something's not right. They said, you're going crazy, Dad. I said, well, the sun sets from in between them two houses. Either the houses have moved, the earth has, or the sun has.
I'm betting, and I think it's the Earth. I think that we're doing this number.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. You have the next question, sir.
Okay, let's have a look and see. Oh, yes. Courteously asked, can they see my hand as well as the pendulum? Well, you'll be able to do that when I do my new system. Benevolent High Priestess asks, who am I talking to? I believe I'm talking to Source. What Source is a matter for debate. Cordia Jane Stewart asks, can anybody talk to them? Well, I only started a week ago, so I'm sure anybody else can have a go.
Well, there are people who have written me, two people in particular, that have now begun to do what we started here, and they're getting the same type of results. So I would say yes.
Well, that's good. Emperor Rex asks, can the audience move my pendulum? I don't think so. I think it requires your energy somehow to get to the pendulum to move it. I could be
What
wrong.
they don't understand, Patrick, is that, this one here, as you can see, folks, if I can get it to stop, it has this little ball, this little crystal ball that's on this chain. So it moves to where your hand can't touch with your fingers, can't really touch the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, all I got to say, try it before you, yes.
Don't knock it until you try it.
Till you try it. Come on, folks. Yeah. Right. It's like riding the bicycle.
Just a couple more and we'll get to a question for the pendulum. Laurie Hardy asks, where can she get the alphabet paper? I created this chart. If you want a copy, email me and I'll email you a copy back. Simple as that.
I'll take one.
Sure, do that.
Because quite frankly, Patrick, my wife said, all right, so now that you've convinced me that this thing has, its mind of its own, now what do we do?
What are we going to do with it?
So, I don't know. So anyway.
people think we're experts, Wayne. We've only been doing this a week.
Hey, folks, we're like God, man. We're flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, yeah. We joined each other about 2 seconds before we went live. That's the preparation we took, wasn't it?
Yeah, I literally. I was brewing my coffee and getting
There's another, I assume, gentleman, I could not pronounce his name, wants to know, did I ever teach tarot in the UK? No, I never did. And somebody asked where to get a pendulum from. Google it.
Oh yeah.
What I will say is, when you get your pendulum, sleep with it for at least a week.
Wow. I love that.
To infuse your energy. You can put it under your pillow, just leave it there for a week. That'll put your energy into it, and then it should respond.
Yeah.
But it's not a good idea to share it with other members of your family. One pendulum per person, otherwise you'll get mixed signals.
That is a very good point, because this one here is a crystal. I mean, this one was literally cut from a crystal. That makes good sense, Patrick.
Okay. Right, we're on to the first proper question now. I'm not sure if I understand it. Emperor X says, how does or will the movement and current placement affect astrological charting apps and gurus? I'm not sure if I understand that question. I can ask it. I'll just read it straight off the screen, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, folks, let's kind of keep the questions directly to the planets. We really want to.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one then, shall we?
Yeah.
Right, Timothy McKee asks, do we swap planets when the two solar systems intermesh?
Again, who do we, folks, remember, I guess we could ask Source, but again, we want to talk, the whole point of this.
To an actual planet.
Yeah, we want to get to know the planets first. We can get to the extraneous things here, but I'll just be the first one. I like to get to know these guys, gals. I don't know.
I suggest for these type of questions, and especially if it's a yes or no question, buy your own pendulum, do it yourself, and make your own video.
Well, I'll send one out that was emailed. Like I said, I put these in order of the planets.
Okay.
And go ahead, Patrick.
I was just going to say, quite a few of the questions assume I know what planet they're talking about, and I don't.
Yeah, you got to remember.
Like, what life did you have before becoming a planet? What planet is that?
Yeah.
Either Saturn or Jupiter, I assume.
And remember, it's my belief, Patrick, that we're talking to sentient beings. This is a species that most humans can't conceive of. Listen, if Earth wasn't a sentient living being, you wouldn't be.
Exactly.
Well, someone sent in and asked about Mercury and said, okay. I got a couple of emails. People want to know more about how Mercury is doing. And basically, they just want to kind of know, does Mercury's right next to the sun? Is that a position of honor, or is that a position of contrast? How do we frame that correctly, Patrick? Or maybe we just ought to ask Mercury if there's anything Mercury would like to say to us.
Exactly. Can we talk to Mercury? If the answer comes back yes,
then let's ask how it's doing.
Can you tell us how you're doing?
Yeah. Well, that's how I would introduce myself to you.
Exactly. Let's have a go, shall we?
Let's do that.
Let's do that, indeed. And if it doesn't move, we'll go on to the next question.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They're coming.
Is it possible to talk with Mercury, please? That's a strong yes. Hello, Mercury. It's an honor to talk with you. How are you doing? I am concerned that the sun no longer generates heat, and I am becoming cold. I am worried that I am going to die. Finish.
Whoa.
I'm speechless. I did not expect that. I
Okay,
did not expect that. It's gone all funny.
Wow. You know, let's talk about this for a second. If you're a being that is used to a certain energy, heat, we would call it, and we know that Mercury has the most unique thing about its planets because one side can be just tremendously hot. It should be hotter, but it's not. And the backside is freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's concerned it's going to die. It would be the first that would have felt the effects of something like that. I wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, like, I'm sitting here going,
Well,
where the hell did that come from?
I couldn't have imagined that or planned that. I didn't even know we were going to get a question about Mercury. Wow.
Wow. I mean,
I feel quite emotional.
okay. And it didn't want to talk anymore.
No. Done.
Done. Okay. Do you have one on your end there? Holy crap.
Sure. I'm just getting over the shock of that one.
I'm sitting here going, okay. Because I'm going to go back and process this. I mean, you look at it, and now all of us can begin to look, folks, for the scientific reports that I have no doubt, Patrick, undoubtedly will begin to come out.
Okay. I have a question from Liz B. She ask what Jupiter thinks of Saturn.
I think we asked that last week, didn't we?
I think we've covered that. And then
they're not hostile to one another.
No, Scott has a similar question. How is your relationship with Saturn? Laura Van, hi Laura. She's asked, how many dimensions does Jupiter have?
How many
dimensions?
Oh, that's a good question. I love Jupiter. You know, I'd like to tell Jupiter that there's a lot of people sending it favor, and Neptune. Yeah.
Those messages as well. Yeah.
And I've had a number of requests. Could we please reach out to Neptune and Uranus? And by the way, someone pointed out about Uranus. If you look at the way that wordsmithing word goes, look at it as you are Anus. Who is Anu? Well, go back to your Samaritan text, folks. Anu is the chief god. Mm-hmm. He's the one that left way long ago said the heck with y'all and left Enki and Inyel and Iana, his wife, here. So Uranus would be reserved for Anu.
Right.
Thank you for that.
These type of questions will be interesting because I know absolutely nothing about what you've just said.
All right, well, let's just roll the dice on this. Is everyone, I mean, we've got almost 350 people watching in here. Let's try to reach out to Neptune or Uranus. I'd like to.
Sure, let's do that.
I mean, we knocked on the door of Jupiter and Saturn last week. Friendly folks.
Yeah.
Saturn isn't a bit of a twit, but
I got more responses about Saturn than I did anything.
I know. My email was just overwhelmed. People want to know Saturn. They want to, and two things. They want to know, what did Jupiter mean by this ascending? What is that? Is someone said, does a planet ascend to a sun? I don't know. All right, how about Neptune?
Okay, what would you like to know?
I think I'd just like to introduce ourselves, and we've asked each one of the planets if they'd like, in fact, Patrick, that's how we've introduced ourselves to the first two. Let's just continue to introduce ourselves and see if they want to say something.
See what they've got to say.
Yeah. I mean,
we'll start with Neptune, shall we?
Yeah, shall we? Let's do.
Okay. We would like to talk with Neptune. Is that okay? Yes. Hello, Neptune. We are here on planet Earth, and we would like to get to know you. Hello, people of, I'm swinging fast again, Earth. I am very pleased to be talking with you. I feel that I have been somewhat neglected in the past. There was a time when I communicated with the people of Earth, and we had an excellent relationship, but there have been many cataclysms upon your planet, and many civilizations have been destroyed. This is the first time anyone from your civilization has reached out to me. You are very welcome. Finished.
Oh, my. You know, we talk about seekers of the future, seers who can see. We ask the cards to show us what our fate may hold for us. And yet, what we have before us, and as Neptune was speaking, I got this mental image. I'll tell you exactly what I got. These are very proud beings.
Very majestic.
I was in this, it wasn't a room, it's too big. They stand in the presence of something else, but they stand in the presence of each other. And
collective.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What'd you get on that, my friend?
I feel the energy. Again, the pendulum was swinging outside of the circle. The energy it would take to do that. I mean, if I tried to do it with my hand would be doing that. And it goes from one side of the chart to the other almost in 3 movements. And that is so powerful. I feel it. I feel the emotion. I felt its majestic personality. It's like talking to an old sage, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Someone with wisdom.
Yes.
Someone who thinks before they talk.
I got the mental.
Considers all. I just can't put it into words.
What I got very strongly was the sense of gratitude. I mean, we spoke out to it. It spoke to us, said thank you almost. Thank you for knocking on the door.
Yeah.
I think that in the future, we're going to have even more opportunities now to. I got a sense, and I know this sounds crazy, Patrick. It knows us.
No more crazy than talking to planets.
And I'm in good. Exactly. Of course, Steiger. You know, you're talking to planets. Do you really think that? Well, yes, I do. Thank you very much. But I got a sense that it knew you and I.
Yes.
I got this strong sense, like, hey guys, come on in.
It knew we were coming.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow. And Curtis Lee just said they could be billions of years old. A sage is too young. Curtis, I think that your perspective is right. I think.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My vocabulary is limited on the point.
Yeah. I mean, we're standing in the presence of gods. I mean, they outlive you and I. I mean, and it seems like even the gods of all the earth religions have a great deal of respect for the planets. Oh man, I feel like a kid. All right, I want to know about Uranus.
Don't be so rude, right, Wayne?
It's like you said, we haven't gotten to know each other that yet. So,
Do you want me to do the same with Uranus?
yeah, I think that I think they may know that we're coming, and I think that it would be rude and very ill-mannered of us not to make the rounds of introductions.
Okay, let's have a go. We are grateful for those we've been able to speak with thus far. We would like to speak with Uranus. Is that possible? It's very strong now. That's definite yes. Hello, we are on Earth and we would like to get to know you. Thank you. I welcome your contact. I feel that the solar system has many problems and we all need to discuss what can be done. I am talking about all beings on all planets and moons within the solar system and all the planets and moons themselves. We are facing an enormous challenge. We will witness many upheavals and it may even be necessary for the occupants of some planets and moons may need to relocate. I myself cannot relocate, and I shall take whatever comes. I have been here for millennia, and to be truthful, I am tired. Finish.
Patrick, if the connection is still there, I had a tremendous pain between my right above where my third eye is. What I kept on seeing. In fact, I don't know if you can see the camera. I'll let it know because it's just my notes are all over. But I kept on seeing this. It looks to me to be something big, something dark. I mean,
Are we talking about Nibiru?
I don't know what we're talking about. I got the mental impression very clearly. This thing is big. It's it's got what I would term chaos winds. I mean, movement, something big, 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 big. I mean, big, big. I don't know. It would say. Go ahead.
Like I said last week, I feel we're moving into something.
Yeah, I got that.
Not necessarily something coming to us. And the concern I have, if it is something really big, it may have a debris field behind it. And if we pass through that, we're in for a pounding.
Well, I mean, Uranus is the one planet in the solar system, the gas giants, that is literally getting its butt kicked. I mean, yeah, it's for some reason seems to be out in that orbit where many leading astronomers, astrophysicists have speculated that that planet is telling us that something's out there. Something's perturbating the orbit. We now know Neptune is out of its orbit. I'd like to ask Neptune what caused that, but right now we're just on the introduction tour.
Sure.
So
we've got other shows we can go into that.
Well, I think that this, I mean, you look where this is going to go. I guess we should be. Go ahead.
Know each other first.
Yeah.
I
think you and I are pretty nice chaps. I mean, I'd invite you in for tea.
Sure.
So,
I might even accept.
Well, it'd be an honor, my friend. So let's think about this. I guess Venus would be the next on the list for us.
I have had several mentions of Venus, and particularly their relationship with Mars.
Okay.
Mars.
Shall we knock on the door?
Have a crack at that. Have we got time?
Yeah. Oh, sure. We got time. I mean, this is the introduction tour, and today has blown my mind.
When I watch this back, I'm going to go crazy.
I mean, this is low, folks. This is, wow.
Oh, dear. And who wants to sit down and watch television?
Exactly.
Get your pendulums out, people.
Start talking.
Who are we talking to? Venus.
Yes.
We would like to talk with Venus getting the answer before I've asked the question. Thank you. We would like to introduce ourselves to you, and we have had several questions on your relationship with Mars. Is there anything you would like to say? Thank you for your introduction. I am well acquainted with the people of, look at that swing, Earth. I have been assisting them in matters of the heart. I welcome you all, and I am extremely happy to make your acquaintance. I do have a very close relationship with Mars, and I am deeply, deeply saddened by what my brother has endured. If you only knew of his suffering, you would destroy all of your weapons of war. I am a planet of love and love will conquer all, even death. Finish.
Woo. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Venus, I mean, all these planets, I get distinct emotions, distinct personalities. This
Separate
planet,
personalities.
yes, yes, sir. It knows us.
Intimately.
And it would make sense. I mean, as I was listening, and this is how I see it, folks. When you adore and focus your admiration on any person, thing, object, that energy will be absorbed. And Venus has always been the lure. I don't know if it's she or he. I didn't get the distinctness.
I got the impression it was a female.
Female, yeah, that it loves Mars. Mars was hit by nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Who?
And probably worse.
Will they tell us? I don't know. I hope so.
Over time, when they get to trust us, maybe we can.
That is exactly the thing I heard before you were speaking it. I had heard when we learn to trust you.
Yeah. Can I just say, I had a message from somebody who said, when I was doing it last week, they were getting the words at the same time I was.
I have no doubt of that. No, not all. We're in our uncharted territory here.
We certainly are. Before I started doing this, I would class myself as a skeptic. I'm now at the point where I'm skeptical about my skepticism. In other words, I'm not a fully pledged, paid up believer, but I've got my arm up my back telling me this is real. Either that or I'm going crazy, Wayne.
No, I don't think you're crazy because, crazy is typically one-on-one. If this is, then we're having a group party.
Crazy
No.
people don't think they're crazy, do they?
No. Again, I'm overwhelmed. Next week, I'd like to spend some time with Earth. I know everyone wants to get with Earth. It's very much important, but I think we have to do this properly. I
Yes.
don't know why. I think we have to be, Patrick, I'm getting the sense we need to be very respectful.
Absolutely.
That's the sense I get. We need to be extremely respectful.
Everybody watching this, you need to get your own method of communication. It might not be a pendulum for you, it could be something else. Find out what works for you. Don't rely on others to give you the answers.
Thank you. And Patrick, I'd like to get one of your wills because I'm going to print that out myself.
I'll email it to you.
Thank you, sir, because you're right, folks. Start doing this. Listen, you could be getting something that they want to speak about. I have a sense, though, Patrick, that this has to be done with honor.
You have to give them respect. You have to have the right intention. You're not to do it as a form of entertainment or take it lightly. You are talking to a majestic personage in the form of a planet.
Yes. Yes. My friend, I believe, and you know the great thing about this is that this is a record. Everything we're saying out here will be proven to be true or will be proven to be malarkey. The thing that I love right now is that everything that I am seeing is all adding up to something. You know, I started doing some research, Patrick, since the last you and I met.
Right.
And every culture, and except for the Western cultures, worship the planets.
Why would that be, Wayne?
You think that they may have known something? I mean, you know, I've puzzled myself, Patrick, as a philosopher, as to where did the first wisdom come from? We all want to get in, and then people have different ideas and different beliefs. But I'm convinced that these would be considered our godparents, and that they're the ones who have helped nurse mankind. And now we rejected them. We thought we became greater than them in our thought and our thinking. Well, I don't have a problem with my head with a respectful bow in the presence of greatness.
Exactly. I had no idea that this evening's broadcast would be as it has turned out to be. I knew it was going to be interesting, but I'm practically shaking inside.
I mean, I have to keep composure here. You know? It's like, well, someone has to do it. But, you know, when I get off of this, I do the same thing. I'm going to have to go back. When the planet started telling us about Mars, and when you first reached out to Mars, I walked away with sadness. I mean,
That was a very sad occasion. That really was.
it brought tears to me, to be candid with you,
Yeah,
because I sensed, you and I talked about this. The thing I got was resignation. You know,
absolutely resigned to his fate.
Yeah.
Can I just say before we end this, please find your way of doing it. And when you find a way, ask them if I am genuine, please.
Yeah. There you go. Cheesecake 22. What I saw, I'll just be candid to you, freaked my freaking butt out. The pain was just so great right here, but what I was seeing was, it's huge. It doesn't emit light. But it's huge. It's big. And I saw, I saw in my mind, my spirit was interpreting it as extreme chaos associated with it. That's what I saw.
I think what we're doing is fantastic, but I think we are late to the party. We have to play catch up.
Something just told me this is why it's going to come up on us without no one knowing it. It's not emitting light.
Like a thief in the night.
We're going to have to get into this, Patrick. I mean, in the weeks to come. This is...
When I use the pendulum on my own for my own purposes, and I ask a question or ask for a message, I then follow it up with supplemental questions. And the more detailed the question, the more detailed the answer. So maybe 1 week we'll concentrate on one planet and ask a question, and then whatever that prompts us to ask after that, and go deeper and deeper and deeper. What do you think?
I think that's far out. In my vernacular, brother, I'm all in.
Down the rabbit hole, Wayne. Down the rabbit.
Hey, listen, I'm the guy digging the hole.
It was your idea anyway. I'm going to blame you. When they come knocking on my door, I'm going to blame you.
You know, I finally figured out, people say, well, you're going down the rabbit hole. No, screw it, man. I'm the one digging. I'm trying to find that damn rabbit. And it's elusive. My friend, thank you, Patrick. It is,
Thank you for
wow.
having me on.
Are you kidding? Thank you for being here. I mean, we have started something, and people can be skeptical. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Be respectful, but sit back and watch us. See what happens, and then make your determination. Give us time, and let's see.
Find your own truth.
Exactly.
And by the way, I think it would be wonderful to have Rex on one occasion, or maybe even more. We can have the more people with questions, the better.
Rex was very interested when I told him how we're approaching this. You know, he just said, you know, this is very good. He said, I really love the approach that you're going with this. And, you know, it's like I told him, no one's doing it. No one's doing this. I mean, I've looked everywhere. No one has got a show dealing with talking with the planets. No, you've got astrology channels, you've got card reading channels, but no one is doing what we're doing now. I'd love to see hundreds of channels springing up. Who knows? You know,
absolutely.
Yeah,
the more the merrier.
Yeah, a lot of it may be nonsense, but I have a sense that those who approach this seriously will get the same information as well. Just my take.
I am in awe of it. I am holding the pendulum. I am watching it move, and I am thinking, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Again, I'm in awe. I feel like we have been in the presence of majesty, greatness, wisdom. They've been alive longer than our species have been walking on this planet.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Patrick, but that tells me right there, they might have a thing or two to say.
I think they've got an opinion. Yeah.
I think they do too. Well, how can people find you, my friend? I've left your link on your YouTube channel. I'll put your email there as well, but go ahead.
If you want to find me on YouTube, just type in Patrick Garrett. Make sure you spell the Garrett correctly, Garrett, not E-T or E-T-T. I'm a rat, not a ret. And I usually am the first one to come up when you do that. Alternatively, just email me, phonygranddad@gmail.com, and I'll respond.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been fabulous, Patrick. Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone that's joined us. I'm telling you, folks, you need to tell your friends about this. This is really it's one of the most unique shows on YouTube. And, you know, Patrick, I have a sense that 2019 is going to be a big bang for us. I really do. I just don't know what's going to be ringing the bell.
Anyway,
so, all right, folks.
Next week.
Yep. Be good. Patrick, hold on as we sign off here, folks. Let me just invoke a favor blessing over you. May favor be with you this day, and may there be nothing missing, nothing broken found in your lives. My name is Wayne Steiger. That's Patrick Garrett. You've been with us with Talking with the Planets. We'll be back at this time next week. Join us. Send your emails to either Patrick or to myself on questions, and we'll compile them. And then we're going to learn together, folks. Patrick, thank you. Hold on. We'll see you again, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.